So the title of today's talk could have easily been the 4 keys to manifesting the life you want, or the 4 keys to a spiritual experience, or could have been anything. And in all honesty, about I don't know, about 5 minutes before y'all showed up, I just landed on this one because I gave up because I didn't know the best title. But these 4 keys work in anything. They work whether you're trying to manifest a new car, manifest an experience of peace, manifest goodness. They work for anything. The thing that we all must remember is that every one of us, and when you go to the next store that you go to, everybody you see in there, and the next time you go somewhere different, everybody you see there, everybody is in search of a spiritual experience. It's just not everybody knows that that's what they're in search of. The reason I know this to be true is everybody is driven by what they think is going to improve their life. Now, those of us who have been coming here for a long time and many other spiritual centers know that the way to improve your life experience is through spiritual knowing, spiritual understanding, because that redirects your focus. But not everybody knows that. So we're all on this path. Now, some people, especially those who have been brought up in the traditional religious backgrounds, think that I'm going to have that spiritual life once I die. Yeah, as soon as I kick off this earth, I'm there. I get to go to heaven. I get to be with God. I get to have... Guess what? Jesus told us the kingdom of heaven is within, which tells us that we already have that. We don't have to die to get there. So how do we manifest this spiritual experience? We know it. You know, we can read books. We can go to classes. You can come here on Sunday mornings. You're going to hear me say that same thing, just in different words, just about every Sunday. I do tell you all the time that you've got to have a different mindset, a different thought process to get off of this material world and onto the spiritual world, and then you can see truth instead of illusion, and da-da-da-da-da, you know. We say this kind of same thing all the time. But how do we get there? How do we change our thoughts so that our thoughts are aligned with good and love instead of the darkness and the anger and the fear and the chaos that we see all around us? How do we get our thoughts retrained? Well, this is where the 4 keys come in. We read a book. We have a book study that happens on Wednesday nights, and many years ago, and it might have been the first book that we did, 10 years ago, whatever that was, The Way of Mastery. Beautiful book. If you have not read that, go get it. It's awesome. But in The Way of Mastery, it gives 4 keys for spiritual living. Well, these 4 keys, as I said, can be used for anything. It's not just spirituality, but when we use them for spirituality, it flows over into everything else. So why do 4 or 5 things when you can do one and benefit all? These 4 keys, the first one is desire. Desire is one of those things that in some teachings we're taught that desire is bad. I know when I grew up, desire was thought of as sinful. It was one of those material things that it was of the flesh. It was no good. That was one of the things that got me in trouble in those early years, is because I was one that looked at that and I went, that doesn't sound right. And I questioned the preacher, and then Mom got after me. You know, I started my rebellious stage a long time ago. and I still have it. But desire is not evil. Like anything else, it could be used for what many perceive as evil. But desire is good. Desire is what leads us to go, oh, wait a minute. There might be something more. And I don't know about you guys, but even on my best day, I think, wow, what more can there be? Because I don't want to be satisfied. I'm a creation of God. I'm made in God's image, and if I'm made in God's image, there is no limit to what I am, what I can experience, what I can express. So desire allows me to get curious, gets me to open up to what more can there be. And desire's not based on lack. And if you feel a lack somewhere, then stop yourself, go look at it again, realize there's not lack. There's more to be had maybe, but it's not lack. Because when we start looking at lack, we get in the mentality of lack. We start getting back into that negative thought process and thought patterns. Desire for a greater experience of life or a deeper spiritual experience is knowing that there's more beyond this material world. We know that no matter how great things are in this material world, no matter how rich we are, there's always something more. And that something more, when we realize it's not material, allows us to get real, to get to truth, allows us to open our mind, broaden our horizon. And when we start doing that, the material world has no choice but to follow suit. But it's the spiritual, it's getting our mind right, aligned with good, aligned with love, aligned with the truth of God. And when we do that, we do it through desire. We know that we want that. Open awareness to desire within you. When you do that, you'll start noticing some of the things that, this isn't working for me. I want to get rid of that, or that's bad. That's in my life. That's no good. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. Drop the guilt stuff. And what is that thing that we always say? Stop shoulding all over the place. Don't get yourself in the mind process, well, I should get rid of this. I should do this. I should drop all that stuff. Allow desire to open you to the possibilities. And anything that doesn't align with the possibilities, just give yourself a break. Say, oh, that worked for me at one time. It no longer serves me. I can release it. I can let it go. Because it did work for you at one time, or it would not be in your life. So just give yourself a break on that. When you open awareness to your desire, you will see things coming to you that align with that desire. Things that you probably would have just overlooked before. So your vision opens up. Desire opens you to many things. Now, we can't just let the desire run wild. And let me rephrase that. You can let it run wild, but you also have to have a way to utilize it. You know, if we just stay in the state of desire, then everything's going to be kind of floating around out here and we're not going to get anywhere. We have to bring in intention. We have to set intentions to that desire is going to serve my greatest good. I intend to practice it. I intend to bring it in. I intend to do this so that I can manifest this desire. See, intention is where we start bringing our logic into it a little bit. Not fully. Not fully, because logic will never fully get you there, because if logic is the only thing that's going to get you anywhere, you would never know God. Because God is beyond logic. Well, so are your desires. But logic can help you go, oh, this takes me away from my desire. This moves me toward my desire. And you're doing this with your thoughts, your actions, your practices, anything you're doing. If you're in a yoga class and every time you move you are hurting yourself, that yoga class, even though it's supposed to be really good for you, is not serving you. Release it. Let it go. On the other hand, if yoga is something that brings you right into that state of bliss, that feeling of enlightenment, do it more. So the desire is to create and manifest good in your life, to enrich your experience of life. Intention is bringing your thoughts, bringing your actions, bringing your practices into alignment with that desire. The next key I've already kind of talked about, because when we talked about desire, we talked about you will start seeing things that are in alignment with your desire. You'll start seeing things that might move you toward it. For instance, you may see a book that you have never seen before sitting on your bookshelf that holds the answer that will open you to a greater knowing. Well, just because the book's been sitting there all this time and I haven't picked it up and read it doesn't mean it's not good for me. I have to allow that knowing. If I all of a sudden have a feeling that this book is something I need to read, it's my allowing that allows me to pick that up, to open it up, to read it. Allowing lets you know, or lets you bring in, accept, receive all of these things that the universe, that God is going to be sending your direction based on your desire. We humans are weird little creatures. We really are. One of the things that happens when we go through this process is we get a desire. And let's go to the material world because it's easier to describe. We get a desire for a new car. And we picture this car, we have the color, we have the model, we have everything about it. And we go to the dealer, we see it sitting there on the lot. Oh, wow, this is awesome. And we go in, we sit down in it, and it feels different than what we expected it to feel. And that's not it. I'm done. Okay, I'm off. I go. And you walk away from it. When you get into the allowing process, you may realize that sitting down in it initially felt different, but it was better. You cheat yourself out of that experience because it wasn't exactly what you envisioned. What we must do when we're doing this process, when we desire and these visions come to us about what something is going to be like, we have to remember God knows way more than we do. And what is sent to us, what is brought before us, what manifests in our lives may be far better than anything that we could have ever imagined. And it's only when we allow it, only when we choose to receive it, that we know the truth that that is exactly what we needed. We must allow. We often turn away from things or ignore them just because they're different. Can't tell you how many times I've done that. Just because it's different than what I thought it should be, I've turned away from stuff. Many things. You cheat yourself. So stay open to new possibilities. The divine has many more ideas on what will expand our experience of life than we can ever come up with. So stay open and allow. And then the final key, the fourth key, is to surrender. Now, this is that word a lot of people go, oh no, I don't want to surrender. That's giving up. That's quitting. Yeah, but it might be quitting and giving up something that's not good for you. Nobody said to stop doing what is serving your highest good. Nobody ever said that. Now, your idea of what's serving your highest good may be totally out of whack with what's really serving your highest good. So we got to get in a line with spiritual thinking, with thinking that are aligned with love and peace and good and kind. You know, if I think that those drugs that I was taking, overboard were serving my highest good, was it in alignment with kindness? No. It's probably hurting my body, my physical body, which is the vessel that my spiritual truth is walking through this experience of life with. Is it serving love? Don't know. I've known a lot of people who were heavy into drugs that did not know how to love someone else, much less themselves. I'm not saying they're all that way. It's just I've met some that were. Was it serving peace? It depends on what kind of drug you have, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was. The truth here is that if it is not serving good and truth, the attributes of God, it's not serving highest good. So, if it's not serving highest good, why not let it go? Why not surrender it? Allow it to leave. So put all these together and you have a beautiful path to an expanded experience of life. That's desire, intention, allowing, surrendering. Put all those together. Practice it on the little things to get in the habit of using these four keys. And expand. If you don't feel comfortable in just diving headlong into it, start little. Because these work for everything. Any type of manifestation, any type of bringing something into your life that you don't feel is present. Practice these. Desire, intention, allow, surrender. Be prepared, because you will change your whole thought process when you bring these into your life. In your thought process, as we've talked about many times, your thoughts create your belief system. Your belief system create your experience. And folks, that's all we can control is our experience of anything. We can walk out that door and be hit by a meteor. Can't really control that. But if we survive, we can control our experience of that. And that's what matters. That's what matters. Our minds, our physical brain cannot tell the difference between what we experience mentally and what we experience physically. I think we've talked about the roller coaster. If you put somebody on a roller coaster and measure brain waves and all of the stuff they measure, and then have them months later have them sit down and rethink the experience of that roller coaster, the mind cannot tell the difference. Our bodies feel the same thing as they would if it was really doing that. So, create the experience in your mind. Whatever the experience is, imagine, desire the best possible experience. Set intentions to have that experience. Allow it all to come in and surrender anything that doesn't align with it. And you have just used the four keys of life to enrich your experience. Try it. If you don't like it, come tell me about it. All right, let's close today with prayer. Father God, we are grateful for this experience that we call life. Each moment of each day offers opportunity to awaken further awareness of our inseparable relationship with Spirit, with Christ consciousness, and with God eternal. Each experience invites us closer to pure enlightenment and deeper understanding of our inseparable unity with God and all things. As we continue awakening more deeply to our undeniable truth, our unlimited ability, and our complete self, we ask to be guided in serving all of life wholly and mindfully. We choose to no longer live the fear-based existence, and we rise up in love and peace that are our true power. We effect positive change on this world through our love and our kindness for all. We recognize our oneness with God. We honor the divine in each person we meet, and we honor God in every moment of this life. Knowing that God is all things, knowing there is no separation, we express our complete and perfect gratitude for this truth. In expressing our gratitude, we express our truth. As we express our truth, we allow truth to elevate and to expand within us and from us as we share love and peace with all. We know all this and even more to be absolutely true. And so it is. Amen.